New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax Block B continued this morning today in Sendai. In the main event, we had the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, the ace himself, Hiroshi Tanahashi, facing off against the United Empire's Hatchet, the indomitable, the unstoppable Jeff Cobb. In the semi-main event, we had your boy Hirooki Goto taking on the King of Darkness, Evil. Right here in other tournament matches, we had Kazuchika Okada versus Chase Owens. We had SANADA versus Yoshihashi. Taichi versus Tama Tonga were our other tournament matches of the night. And we also have opening the show the ticking time bomb Hiromu Takahashi taking on Roya Oya in non-tournament action. So let's get into this match. The first match, like I said, Hiromu Takahashi taking on defeating Roya Oya in about 7 minutes, 16 seconds right here. Literally all this was Hiromu Takahashi toying with Oya. He was able to score a quick knockdown on Hiromu Takahashi when he was pretty much not paying attention. He was being real frivolous about him. Hiromu was able to block a slam here. Towards the end, he missed 2 drop kicks, did Oya. And then he actually hit a drop kick on a third try. We get Hiromu blocking another body slam here. Oya's finally able to hit a slam, then hits a gut-wrenching throw, for a 2 count. He then went for a crab, but Hiromu was able to block it, and he starts chopping this man to the chest like he had done many times in this match. Hiromu Takahashi was able to apply a full Boston Crab. Oya cannot reach the ropes, and he tapped out right there. So, solid opener. Like I said, it was this Hiromu Takahashi toying with this young boy. So, moving on up the card to Block B action, we have Tama Tonga with Jado taking on and defeating Taichi with Miho Abe. Little under 13 minutes, 12 minutes and 58 seconds to be exact. The story of this match was Tama Tonga going after Taichi's taped up ribs. Taichi wasn't able to sustain any offense without selling the ribs. A simple story which equated to a good match right here. We get Tama Tonga using body scissors spots. He's just attacking the ribs over and over. He's just going at this man's ribs. So towards the end of the match, the ending sequence, we get Taichi blocking a gun sling, and he hit a dangerous backdrop suplex, which he sold the ribs on. Once again, he attempted that move earlier in the match, but the ribs were causing him problems. Couldn't hit it. Taichi's able to hit an axe bomber. He hit a second axe bomber, but Tonga popped right back up. Like I said, after that, he blocked he actually blocked the gun stun, and he was able to hit that backdrop suplex. That's what I was alluding to earlier, which when he sold the ribs. Tama Tonga was able to avoid a Black Mephisto. He hits a Death Valley bomb. He hits his frog splash, which he calls Supreme Flow, for a near fall. Then Tama Tonga hits the gun stun and gets the victory for an upset win. So, yeah, it was a decent match. Simple story. Effective was what it was. Now, moving up the card for Block B action right here, we have the Cold Skull, SANADA, taking on and defeating Yoshihashi in about 17 minutes and 35 seconds right here. So, to me, these guys, honestly, with Yoshihashi and with SANADA, they're not really the ring general type dudes to where you can assume they're just going to have a great match with anybody. So, on paper, this maybe had me a little bit worried. Honestly, to their credit, though, they delivered and they had a really good match right here. So Yoshihashi early was able to get the better of the wrestling sequences. Once they went out to the ring for a little bit, they got back inside. Yoshihashi striking SANADA some. SANADA's actually able to, turn the tide, if you will. And he sends Yoshihashi to the floor with a Rana. He went for a plancha right there, but missed. Yoshihashi actually followed up and hit his own plancha. So SANADA had a thing where he was trying to avoid a powerbomb. He was able to avoid one powerbomb, but after avoiding that powerbomb, Yoshihashi was able to hit a misdirection lariat. Then he followed up with a powerbomb for a near fall. So we get SANADA also blocking a bunker buster. He had a magic screw into a double down, and of course we get the match resetting right there. We get SANADA hitting a mental drop kick. He used the threat of TKO to set up the skull, which I thought was a nice touch. Yoshihashi fought out of the hold, and then he went for karma. SANADA reversed into TKO for a 2 count. SANADA went up for the moonsault. Yoshihashi, of course, got his knees up. Yoshihashi tried a senton bomb, but of course, SANADA got his knees up. You know what that is. They exchanged strikes. SANADA rolled through the dragon suplex attempt, but Yoshihashi was able to hit Meteora. Then he hit a Kumagoroshi for a 2 count. We actually get SANADA putting Yoshihashi away with the moonsault, then locking in the skull in, tapping Yoshihashi out. Like I said, had me a little bit worried because neither of these guys are true ring generals, but they had a solid match for what it's worth, dude. So Speaking of having a solid match and more than a solid match, we have Kazuchika Okada taking on and defeating Chase Owens around 15 minutes, 37 seconds. These guys told a great story here. Okada was in cruise control. Owens got lucky in blocking a couple big moves, but then gained confidence as the match wore on. So that was kind of the story of this match. He didn't score a whole lot of offense in this match at Chase Owens, but he had a counter for all of Okada's big moves, and he almost put off the upset. So that's something you can hang your hat on, and that's something that you can hold on to. We get Chase Owens attempting to use multiple V triggers or C triggers, whatever you want to call them in this match. He's actually able to duck out of a Rainmaker, uses a backslide to set up the package power driver attempt. They both trade cradles for near falls right here. Okada hit a backbreaker, then locked Chase Owens to the money clip, tapped Chase Owens out. So this is a really great match, man. Chase Owens has been doing really well in G1 Climax, and it's kind of unfortunate it took him so long in pandemic situations for him to actually get into G1, but that's just how the ball rolls sometimes, kid. That's how the ball bounces, G. So now we get the penultimate match of the show. We have Evil versus Dick Togo, with Dick Togo taking on and defeating Hirooki Goto around 14 minutes, 16 seconds. So they used every Evil trope at least once in this match. Goto tried and had a better match than most guys had with Evil, but this still was not good in any of the least, So the ending sequences, we got Goto going for a GTR. Evil, of course, hooks the referee. By then, Togo's choking Goto with his garrote. Evil hit everything as Evil after Goto got choked. Then he gets the pinfall. So this was one of the better efforts from Evil, but still not a good match. Still not a good match. But something that's very opposite from that, moving up to the main event. Jeff Cobb taking on and defeating Great-O-Khan. He didn't defeat a stablemate. He defeated the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Great main event. Honestly, for all the issues that New Japan has had this year and all the criticisms they've been having this year that have been afforded to them, New Japan has booked Jeff Cobb perfectly this year, if you ask me. His matches never go too long. Everything he does looks great. And plus, he sells just enough to make his opponents look credible. Tanahashi's continue to have an incredible year himself in the ring. This is one of Tanahashi's better years, I feel, especially a resurgence type year, man. So we get Tama, we get, because the high fly flow, supreme flow. I'm all messed up today, guys. I swear I know pro wrestling. I promise, and I know English. We get Tana going for the high fly flow multiple times, and one of the last times, Cobb caught him and he hit an F5. Tana reversed the tour. Allen's attempting to an inside cradle for a near fall. We get Cobb absorbing palm strikes, hit a deadlift German suplex, tore the islands for the pin to remain undefeated in G1 Climax Block B action. So let me give you my recommended matches of this show, because this actually was a solid show. I would say main event, Jeff Cobb, Hiroshi Tanahashi is definitely recommended. Kazuchika Okada versus Chase Owens. Taichi versus Tama Tonga, and SANADA versus Yoshihashi. So a lot of the stuff is recommended viewing, if you ask me, man. And go out of your way to watch it, especially if you have New Japan World. Watch this stuff, man. Because, we'll be here to cover it. We could be here to talk about it. So talk about the lineup for the next show, which will be tomorrow, October 13th. Block A, which presumably will be the main event. We're going to have the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Shingo Takagi taking on the Great-O-Khan. Toru Yano versus Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta versus Tangaloa in Bullet Club versus Bullet Club action. Tomohiro Ishii versus Yujiro Takahashi. Kota Ibushi versus Satoshi Kojima in non-tournament action. And Hiromu Takahashi versus Kosei Fujita. So we are the almighty SOS Wrestling Network. Be sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend and tell a friend. We are out this bitch. You know what it is. I think this was day 14? Yeah, day 14. And we'll be back with day 15. So sayonara, signing off, Toodle Pippington.